All right, welcome in everyone. Welcome to the Women's Wellness Network. Here we are today, heading on towards May. Oh my goodness gracious. I don't know where the time goes sometimes. It's trying to be spring, I keep talking about it, but it's not working. I don't know. Can you all send me some spring? Like our guest today, Shannon, I know she's got a little warm weather going on down there. Hi, Shannon. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really good. Yes, we hit 100 yesterday here in Arizona.
Crazy. Summer's already sprung there.
Yes, it's pool time.
Pool time, lovely. Do you get
Yes.
much differentiation between winter and summer, or does it just basically roll right in?
So 6 months out of the year between fall and spring, it's just perfect. Just really, really nice, cool weather. But once we get like where we're at now, once we start hitting 100 degrees, the first day was yesterday, then we're in the thick of the summer and it's hot. It's bearable until you hit August. In August, you just don't go outside unless you have a pool. But then as you start going closer to the fall, the weather gets perfect again.
Oh,
So we're really
lovely.
very fortunate.
Lovely. Oh my word. Yes. Well, that's the thing about living these different places, right? You get a little taste of different kinds of things and yeah, finding your right spot,
Mhm,
loving the vibe and even the weather is super important. So
mhm.
I think personally, I'm still, moving around a little bit because I haven't struck that gold yet for that spot
Yeah,
to hang my hat. So,
yeah.
anyways, Shannon, we are not here to talk about the weather. We are here to talk about Shannon. So, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are?
So, my name is Shannon Murray, and I am the founder of Crown Yourself Queen. So, I'm a transformational coach, and I help women step into their power. And one way, or the big way that I do that, is with a breakthrough session, which uses neuro-linguistic programming to tap into the unconscious. And with that, you release emotional baggage and limiting beliefs. And in your unconscious, you have things that you're not even aware of. So releasing those things that you've carried around most of your life really makes a big impact. It makes incredible change, and it happens in a very almost an instant way through the breakthrough session. So it's powerful stuff. Yeah.
Powerful. And then you get to be crowned your own queen. Now
Mhm.
that is something. That's something because we don't need other people to do it for us or anything. We need to figure it out how to do it ourselves. Right?
Mhm.
That's where you come in, helping
Yeah. And
discover,
we're all, yeah, and we're all queens. We just forgot.
right?
So releasing all of that, you really find your worth and you are able to show up as you really are, and things shift for you. So yeah, it's very powerful.
Yeah, my goodness. Yes, neuro-linguistic programming. I know a little bit about that myself. Got a
Yeah.
little certification in that.
Oh, nice.
But it's yeah, to know how that, the mind kind of works around these little triggers and things, and we don't even
Mhm.
notice. We just go along, living our life with this programming that we, come across in our first few years and stick to it because we don't know any different. So when you first start working with people, like what would you do when you first started working with someone?
Well, so just to give you a little bit of history of how I came about it
Mm,
is, I got certified as a coach back in 2012 and had all of these tools and skill sets. Personally, I have spent tens of thousands of dollars on my own personal development and healing. And then I got a coach, and I think all coaches should have a coach. Everyone should have a coach, actually. But I had a coach that introduced me to the breakthrough session and what that entailed. So I had that experience and how powerful it was and how much faster it got results for me and what a change it made for me. I had to go get certified because for what it did for me, I wanted to provide that for others. Because what happens is there's so many tools out there that work very well, But if you have this underlining, baggage and limiting beliefs, they're not as strong as they could be. So, for example, I have a spiritual practice daily that I do. Part of that is affirmations and a gratitude journal, which can be powerful. But if you don't release those things like you would in a breakthrough session, they're not as powerful. So, like affirmations, you can, affirm all these things. For me, what was stopping me unconsciously was that I felt I was not worthy.
Mm.
So when I'm, claiming these affirmations, consciously it makes sense and I believe it, but unconsciously, if I have this vibration of I'm not worthy, you unconsciously don't line up with all the things in your life that you're supposed to have because you are worthy.
Right.
So a breakthrough session, it's actually 2 full days. So it's a lot going on. So it's the first day is working with me to uncover what the core problem is. Like for me, and I didn't even consider that I'm not worthy because consciously, of course I am. But
Right.
it was there. And then we identify that. And then the next day, we excuse me, we work with the unconscious, and it's actually traveling along a timeline. It's timeline therapy. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's really quite incredible. And so that's where we go into the past and release those things. What's great about that versus like your traditional therapy is you don't have to identify specific points in your time and relive trauma and all of that stuff. Your unconscious mind knows that first event that you need to release grief or sadness or anger or I'm not worthy. Your unconscious knows exactly what to do. So you go through that process, and then I continue after the breakthrough session. I continue to work with clients because there's 4 prerequisites for change. The first 2 parts I am responsible to help my clients do, which is the release work and then setting goals and intentions. And then the second 2 parts that are required is the actions in that, and then positive focus, which I help them stay on track and accountable. And things come up that stop us from achieving our goals. We identify that, maybe do some more release work. And so within a 3 to 6 month period, an area of your life can completely be different than when you started.
That's so true, right? But the thing is, you got to start. You got to start somewhere,
Right.
right?
Right.
So
Sometimes that's the hardest.
it totally is, yeah,
Mhm.
because as you just mentioned about having that feeling of unworthiness subconsciously, but on the outside, we're going about our day, we're living our lives, we're doing the things that we're supposed to do.
Mhm.
But yeah, there's those little things that are hidden in our psyche that we just um, we let we don't let they just do it anyways, but they just run behind the scenes. They show
Mhm.
up in the strangest places,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Like something like being unworthy, or um, being depressed, or being challenged in any way, really, is always got this little hook, this little thing that's left behind from some old wounding that we totally forget about. But
Right.
we don't here we forget about it, but here in the body, in the cells, body holds the memory and it stays
Mhm.
there, right?
Mhm.
So you were
Yeah.
saying in 2012 is when you started on your journey of being a coach, or did you already have like some sort of background where you decided I really need to help people, I've got this capacity, or was there something that just went, whoa, hang on a second, I need to look at what this is doing for me, and then I need to help people? Like, was it like just a soft switch, or was it like some big profound moment?
You know, I I tend to say this a lot. It unfolded perfectly. So I got married really young. I was 20, had 2 kids right away. And then right after having those children, we got divorced. So I was a single mom with just babies. And I'm like, okay, this didn't work. I need to fix it so I don't go through it again. So I was on a mission to figure out myself and what I needed to do. I actually went to college for studying psychology. I was going to be a counselor and I loved it, learned a lot. And then I came across, I didn't know anything about life coaching back then, and I came across something at a wellness center, and I'm like, I love this. I love the approach of um, having tools to work on the present instead of counseling and digging up trauma and working on all that. It just had such a bigger impact on moving forward. So I'm like, I thought counseling was my avenue to heal myself and then help others, but coaching was really the more healing approach with quicker results and a positive move forward that I needed in my life. And then moving through all the tools that I continued to acquire, continuing to work on personal development, I just applied to my practice. It wasn't until I came across NLP, the neuro linguistic programming, that was the biggest tool for me. That was the game changer for me. And it's funny because, I still use all of the tools that I've used, but I didn't realize until going through the breakthrough session how much discord I had internally. Like I'm a happy, optimistic person, but I have always struggled with depression and I could never identify that. And it was an ebb and flow. I'd have my highs and lows, that's part of life. But I was, diving so deep into getting relief from depression. And after my first breakthrough session, that has never returned for me. So, all these things that I would do to get myself out of a slump, I don't even need to do those things anymore. There is this shift and peace, no matter how chaotic my life gets or stressful it can be. I have just such a peace about things that I have never experienced, didn't know was possible. So you can still stress and be concerned, but there's a core piece that's been replaced, releasing the negative emotion and limiting beliefs. So, and I want that for everyone, especially, with the way the world is now and all the stuff us as women take on and do. And, we're pretty fantastic and do a lot of incredible things, and that can weigh on us. So to have something where you can be at peace no matter what you have on your plate or what you're going through, I think is such a gift to be able to provide that for other women. And I just want every woman to have that peace. We deserve it. Oh my goodness, don't we?
Yes, no kidding. Especially, I'm pretty sure that in the past, well, maybe more of an ancient past, but in the past, we would have had that. Women were upheld, they were revered, they were cherished, they were, you know, looked to even, right, as wise women. And yeah, having that taken out of our culture makes us as women today, not sure where we fit in, not sure exactly, are we stepping on somebody's toes? Do we belong in this place? Or am I worthy? Right?
Okay.
Ultimately. Yeah. So I think I totally agree with you. Like every woman deserves to have peace. Every person, every human, every sentient being deserves peace. So looking to find that little space, as you said, you remove something, sort of, you extract a part of your belief, and you can replace it with something else. You've made that space, you've made that that opening to be able to put that in there,
Mhm.
to right, to
Exactly.
allow it back where it belongs. I mean, it
Mhm.
ultimately there's that got to be that little seed in there that says, it feels like peace, because over our lifetimes we've probably felt it at one time or another,
Sure.
right? And yeah, like learning how to grow that, learning how to foster that, learning how to um, decide even which tools are best for us. So
Mhm.
you work with NLP. Is there any other tools that you love? I know you said you have some sacred practices, which are super important. I think that we should all have those kinds of things in place. Also, the more tools we have at our disposal, probably the better.
Mhm.
And yeah, do you recommend anything else? Is there anything else that you really just love?
So I use a combination of so I got certified as a master practitioner in NLP, the mental and emotional release, and also hypnotherapy.
Mhm.
So again, combining all of that to work with the unconscious mind, which runs everything. And then all the other tools and certifications that I've had along the way, but those are the three main ones that I use. And every client is different. So there's so many different things that can be used for a certain situation. So based on the person and what they're comfortable with, we decide together what will work best to get them through a stuck point, or if if they set these goals and they're like, I don't know why I'm self-sabotaging. Okay, let's look at that. And here's a couple of ideas. Do you want to try this, see what comes up for you and if it releases? So um, yeah, all the tools that I have. I know what works really good on me
Right.
with my coach, but it just really is dependent on the client and where they're at and what works best for them. It's individualized on that,
Wonderful.
but
Yes, that's so true. We all are unique. We all have our own specialness to us, and formula for our makeup, I guess, ultimately.
right.
So you work with clients in person and online, or just online?
Yeah, so the majority is through Zoom. Definitely like you and I, we need to have that face to face. It's just so important for us both to connect, see, where we're at. If I can see, if clients are struggling with something they may not even realize they're struggling with based on their expressions. And so yeah, I do Zoom. I do have an office in my home. So I have had clients come here and we work that way, but the majority is through Zoom. It's nice to be in the comfort of your own home. You're a little more relaxed
Yeah.
versus being in someone else's space. Although I've tried to make my office very zen and healing. So, but yeah, it's over Zoom. And I do offer, so for me, it's really important that before I start working with someone, that I spend a couple hours with them. So we can get a lot done in 2 hours. And by the end of that, we can determine if, it's a good fit, that they want to work with me, and if it's a match. When you're a coach, your ideal client is actually your previous self, right? So I tend to attract, women that's in that space, that's open to the things that I have available to offer them. And it's really a beautiful process of how people get connected with me. I mean, I have a client from Ghana that just was Googling one day, never didn't know anything about me. I'm like, this is so beautiful. I love how the whole world's so connected that when you're ready, things show up to help you out. So
Yeah.
it's a neat process.
That
So
is so true. So true.
mhm,
When the student
right.
is ready, the teacher appears. So if you have any students out there in the Women's Wellness Network land, how
Yeah.
can they reach you? How can they work with you?
So you can book a consult. It's 30 minutes. We just connect to schedule the 2 hour on my website, which is crownyourselfqueen.com. or you can email me at shannon@crownyourselfqueen.com.
Okay, awesome. My goodness, see, right away, we have something. There's something you have to offer. You have something that can put somebody on the path right away. So thank you so much for that.
My
Women's
pleasure.
Wellness Network, we will put all Shannon's information into the comments so that you can connect with her, check her out, see if there's something else there that's, appealing to you or speaks to your soul. Yeah, and then get in touch with her and see what magic you guys can do together. So I guess until next time, women of the Women's Wellness Network, be well. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you so much for coming on today. It was lovely to have you and speak with you again.
Thank you.
And yes, I'm sure we'll be staying in touch. So
Absolutely.
awesome. Well, thank you so much and have a lovely day.
You too.
Thank you.